Lead generation is everything in business. As a great real estate agent, you need to understand what your top 4 lead sources are. As we work with agents across the country and across the world, what we've identified is that the best agents have an essential business process around what they do to generate their leads. Now, there's no doubt that if you have a look at a business, that as you grow into your career, there's going to be lead sources that are going to come from social proof and the referral. But the reality of it is that these are the major lead sources for the top real estate agents we coach. Number one, without a doubt, is your own personal network. This is all the people that you already know that own a property in and around where you currently work. At the end of the day, all of your contacts on Facebook, Snapchat, WeChat, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of those, A to Z inside of your phone, the people that you regularly connect with at local community events, at local schools, any of those things, that's actually your entire customer base. How you communicate with that customer base that you're a real estate agent could be as simple as having a name badge when you go to do school drop-off and pick-up, right the way through to what you're actually doing specifically to actually build better community connections. Once you've had a look at all of those people, the next major lead source is then buyer work. Now, this is not just open for inspections. This is the way that you deal with inquiries online, how you're actually speaking with the buyers that are already sitting inside of your database, and what you're doing to continue to build that buyer pool. What we know is that buyer work is a really critical component. Getting more face-to-face conversions is a really important conversation because then that allows more trade-ins. And ultimately, a business that's got trade-ins is a great business to be in. Once we go from our buyers, we're then going to talk a lot about past clients. Now, the interesting thing here is that there's a real lack of investment in building long-term relationships with our consumers. And this is a real challenge for the industry because a lot of people are looking for listings right now, but no one's really thinking about what they're doing to build better quality relationships with the past client pool. Now, the really important conversation here is that what are you doing not only around anniversaries, but also to increase their awareness about properties that have been just listed or just sold in and around their existing asset base. What's then critical is that after our past clients, we then move into landlords. Landlords is a massive part of our industry because they own 2 properties. 1, the property that they're currently renting out, and 2, their principal place of residence. But where are those principal places of residences and which marketplaces are we actually operating in? Because what we'll find is that the real benefit of being inside of a franchise network should actually be the ability to be able to use that big data play. Knowing that you've got a landlord who might live in another office's territory, or another office might actually have a landlord who lives in your territory, and being able to share that information so that you can serve that one customer more dynamically. What is also important is about the number of agents that might retire, leave, retrench, move on from their current role, but they actually leave behind this entire book of past clients and no one's actually doing anything to actually take forward those relationships. Now, this is kind of critical because when you look at those major lead sources and you start thinking, okay, we've got all of our personal network, the stuff that we're doing around our buyer work, then in addition to that, our past clients and our landlords, it then really leaves social proof as being one of the other major lead sources. Now, social proof is obviously about the activities that happen with a property that's just been listed or a property that's also just been sold. And what we're doing specifically around letting those neighbours know about that particular activity, because social proof breeds more listings more often. The final component here is then anything around community involvement. And this is really looking specifically about where the 11 different customers hang out. To give you an example, if you work with a lot of growing families, then we know that growing families end up in either early childhood centres, in kindergartens or primary schools. So what you're doing specifically around your community connection with those particular target markets and demographics is a really important part of what you do as an agent. Now, the reality of it is that if you can really define what your key lead sources are, out of those 6, refine it to the top 4, and do those over and over and over again, you'll actually have an incredible business. Now, the interesting thing about that is that what we saw at the end of last year was a lot of agents leaving social because what they've realized is that the money that they were spending isn't actually getting them results when the market turns. And the number one thing that will make your business move is investing in relationships. So refine what your key lead sources are, work to the routine, and only do those things. Now, that is the thing that will give you the paramount focus that will really allow you to build your business. I really hope you've enjoyed our coaching tip, and we look forward to seeing you next time.